There has been some insane news regarding Marathon and its upcoming release. In this video, we'll be taking a look at all of the new information as the game launches in just a few weeks. First off, you can actually play Marathon very soon. Bungie will be hosting a server slam event from February 26th to March 2nd. And if you play during this event, you'll unlock some pretty cool gear for launch day. If you complete the first mission, you'll get a unique emblem, background, 6 standard implants, 6 standard weapon chip mods, 4 standard runner shell cores, and 2 weapons, the Overrun and Hardline. If you reach runner level 10, you'll get 6 enhanced implants, 12 enhanced runner shell cores, 2 for every shell, 4 enhanced weapon chip mods, and enhanced versions of the Magnum and the Hardline. If you reach runner level 30, you'll get deluxe and enhanced implants, 3 for each, 6 total. Deluxe and enhanced runner shell cores, 1 for each shell, 12 total. Deluxe and enhanced weapon chip mods, 2 for each, 4 total. And a deluxe version of the Magnum and enhanced version of the volley rifle. And finally, you'll get a deluxe backpack. During the server slam, you'll be able to play on 2 maps. The first is Perimeter, which takes place on the colony's outskirts, and Dire Marsh, the colony's agricultural research hub. You'll take on contracts for 5 of the factions: Cyber Acme, New Caloric, Traxxas, Mida, and Arachne. 5 of the 6 runners will be available. You just won't be able to play as Thief. And you can play as a crew or go in as a solo runner. And proximity chat will also be available. The game's launch on March 5th will bring 2 more maps: Outpost, which is set in the middle of a UESC military installation, and Cryo Archive, an endgame map set on the UESC Marathon. This map will feature the Deadly Spit compiler, and it's also important to note that Cryo Archive will be unlocked at some point during the season. It won't be right away, so maybe there's some community event that gets it unlocked. Thief will be available, and full progression for all 6 factions will be unlocked. There's also going to be a ranked mode. The server slam is going to be very exciting, but that's not all of the news. Earlier this week, Bungie held an event in China where people were able to play Marathon early. They reported a lot of interesting things. User Zamboy detailed some of the information that came from this event. Those who played the game early were blown away by the world building. Quote, "The tutorial and faction intros give clear origins and motivations. Players can even discover the will of Dr. Strauss, a key figure who connects many narrative threads from the original Marathon games." End quote. This note about Dr. Strauss is very interesting, and hints that the lore of the game is going to be very deep. Strauss was a key character in the original trilogy, having been the science director for the Marathon and the handler for the AI Durandal. He was killed at some point during the trilogy, but the nature of his death has always been a mystery. We don't know how exactly he died. They also say that the PvE was challenging, and that the enemy forces continue to spawn over the course of the game, so you can never really clear out the map. The UI has seen a huge upgrade, and quote, "Early combat or PvP is almost guaranteed to be a net loss. The reviewer expects the high-risk exploration experience to push players to focus on missions to upgrade base stats. Expects there to be little to no player cooperation, calling every enemy player a loot pinata." End quote. The graphics and visuals have seen an upgrade as well, with the environments leaning into the dark tone that connects back to the original Marathon trilogy and Bungie's older game, Pathways into Darkness. The skill distribution is balanced across all shells, so each has an important role in your fire team, and each runner has cosmetics tied to each of the 6 factions. There have also been reported to be 28 guns, and each has 2 skins, with some skins changing the weapon model. Certain faction quests can unlock map shortcuts between zones depending on the faction, which is a really cool detail. And quote, "The maps contain terminals and lore collectibles. What is cool is that specific character abilities are needed to reach many of these." End quote. This is super exciting, especially with the notion regarding the terminals. The story of the original Marathon trilogy is told through these text terminals, which contain messages from the many AI, humans, and other sources which revealed the narrative. They had a very distinct look, and with the new gameplay, we can actually see the terminals in the map. These terminals look just like the ones in the original trilogy, so I'm super excited for these. We've also learned there is something known as the anomaly that changes the environment on the maps. Some sources report that this anomaly is a creature, while others describe it as a named location. But it looks like there's some translation discrepancies, so that's something to take note of. But this is not the first time we've heard of this anomaly. There were bits and pieces of it during the Marathon Alpha, and we recently got an audio recording that told the story of a colonist being killed by a strange entity, which is seemingly connected to this anomaly.
This is Holt, responding to unusual readings in the northeast sector of the anomaly investigation site. Hello? Found someone. I can't see them very well, too much fog. Back up! Back up!
The gunplay is reportedly very good, and PvP battles will attract AI. The PvE AI have defined roles and are very dynamic. For example, quote, boss robots function as tactical hubs, giving real-time orders and coordinating flanks against players or sending mobs to camp down players, end quote. Ammo was reported to be very limited, with the PvE enemies rarely dropping ammo. The loot distribution has reported to feel inconsistent. Some areas have nothing compared to others. This reviewer notably went into the game feeling indifferent, but by the end, was very excited for more and the ultimate release of the game. These reports are a great sign, and there were a lot of interesting things revealed here. I'm for one am really intrigued by all of the different notions regarding the lore and the world. The anomaly and whatever happened to Strauss really has my interest. Finally, there was an interview between game director Joe Ziegler and creative director Julia Narden. The interview begins with a question that both directors answer. They asked why Bungie decided to revive the Marathon IP after so many years. Ziegler commented how the Marathon universe is full of mystery, which makes it the perfect place to create a survival experience. Julia Narden said something very interesting, quote, the Marathon universe is more science fiction focused, and its fantasy aspects are closer to cosmic horror rather than space opera. That tone fits extremely well with extraction shooters since tension is the core of the genre, end quote. The Marathon universe is so ripe with mystery and tension. The original trilogy dives into it, but there is still so much story left on the table, and we are going to see it realized. Another question they are asked is how Marathon will stand out against other extraction shooters. Joe Ziegler said that world building is the game's defining trait. Quote, many games in this genre start from survival, but what does survival beyond the solar system actually mean? What tools do you need? What threats exist on alien planets? Do the same physical laws apply? You are not a soldier trapped in a jungle or a ruined city. You are a cybernetic being cast into space, uncovering the mystery of a vanished colony, end quote. Marathon is very unique because of its art style and setting. The universe and world building is key to the core of the game, and it really makes you think about how they could expand the game in the future. There's a whole universe out there for them to explore. We could maybe see maps on planets and worlds other than Tau Ceti. Joe Ziegler also gave some insight into the seasonal nature of the game. He said that each season is a fresh start, akin to a months-long roguelike experience. Each season brings new content and systems, but cosmetics will carry between seasons. Seasons are going to be 12 weeks long, so it looks like May 28th will be the launch of Season 2. He then spoke about the PvE difficulty and how they've changed PvE combat since last year's alpha. In the 2025 alpha, PvE enemies were group units, but now they are individual units. Each one is stronger individually, but players can defeat them one by one instead of triggering a large conflict. The issue last year is that you could fire on one enemy and that would trigger a whole group of them. Now you can kill them individually. Ziegler also confirmed that there's not going to be a secure container system at launch, meaning there's not going to be a way to safe pocket loot between runs. Instead, there are other systems in place that make you feel rewarded even if you die and lose everything. There's not going to be special matchmaking for non-combat players, as the uncertainty about whether other players are hostile is a core part of the game. He also sheds light on map sizes. Larger maps can have up to 18 players, while some maps are only 12 players. He was then asked about the nature of resource scarcity in the game, with him responding, quote, resource management is a key pillar. We want players to carefully consider what they bring at the start and feel challenged if they are unprepared for opportunities or threats. Getting supplies requires extra time and exploration, end quote. Resource management is one of the key parts of Marathon. The game is going to be very difficult in this regard, which forces you to play strategically. Overall, all this news is making me even more excited for Marathon, especially with all the new information regarding the lore and mystery of the game. They are tapping into the dark and mysterious undertones of this universe. Thank you for watching this video, and please let me know your thoughts on this game down in the comments. Are you excited? Are you not? Let me know. Click the video on screen right now for more, and again, thank you for watching.